Welcome back to the channel, boys and girls, or welcome to the channel. I'm Galaxier. I do EVE Online weekly news, probably the best source of weekly news weekly news of what's going on in the server throughout the week. So stay tuned if you want to hear what's going on what happened in the last week of EVE Online. We have got a lot of spicy things to look into. It's going to be a good one. So sit back, enjoy, get a nice drink. Also, guys, if you are new to the channel, a subscribe would be really appreciated, and we are very, very, very close to getting to 6,000 subscribers, which is the goal for the end of the year. So subscribe if you're new, and let's get started. As we always do with weekly news, we are going to start with Zkill. And we have got a lot of spicy kill mails on here. And first, your attention may be drawn to the Revenant and the Leopard. I did a short video on the Leopard, basically going over what I think it could have been, it could not have been, and it basically left it down to opinion. And we are going to first of all dive into CCP Sancha Claus. So CCP Sancha Claus, I'm guessing it was a live to feed event. I've reached out and asked CCP just to confirm that, but I think it was a live to feed event that they do, where the CCP fleet go out and they stream the whole fleet, and they take fights to people around the server, and you know these are really fun events to do. They go all over the server. So they go to Lossec, they go to Wormhole sometimes, and they go to Nullsec sometimes. So the battle report for this was, it looked like it was some Revenant on Revenant violence to start with, and then the CCP Swift was in a Force Auxiliary, followed by a load of Black Ops battleships. So you got a load of Widows, you got the Sin. I don't even know who that guy is. He just turned up by the looks of it. And Snuffed Out responded with quite an overwhelming force by the looks of it. So lots of Mercurials, lots of I'm not saying lots, some Dreadnoughts, and also their own Revenant pilot to fight the Revenant. So Revenant on Revenant violence. There was nearly 300 billion destroyed. They lost nearly 60 billion. So a good brawl all round. But these events are really good, and they do stream them over on their Twitch channel, which is CCP's own Twitch channel. So moving on to a Vendetta, which is a faction Nyx. If you've never seen one before, it is the crossover between the Serpentis and Serpentis faction and the Mimitar. So that would be Angels. No, it's just a crossover between Galente and Mimitar, not the pirate faction. Sorry, but it is a Serpentis supercarrier Nyx. Now this one looks like, I kind of feel like this was either a Hypernet win, because I have reached out but no answer, a Hypernet win, or it was pulled out of asset safety unfit, and they've literally used the busted to bring some modules, some armor, some fuel and whatnot to this. So then when they undock it, they can jump, cloak, and they've got a line and a hyperspatial. I mean, come on. For faction super, that's all you could do. Really? Come on. You could have, if you were trying to move that properly, you could have got a few better modules on there. So some more hyperspatial modules, you know, a basic damage control. You could have got a couple more inertial stabilize. You could have got a prop mod in there. You could have done a lot more to save yourself on that one. So I'm not even going to give any sympathy for that. That could have been a much easier thing. But unless he was caught, it doesn't look like he was outside a station. So, because he was... That could have been a lot. That looks like it was logged off and caught. So this looks like it was being moved. So... I'm just going by judging what I can see here. So 1 AU from a planet, could have been at a pause, could have been at a pause, it could have been anywhere, but essentially he looks like he was trying to move it somewhere. Don't know what direction he was going, because obviously we can't track movements of where they have been, only to where they were when they got caught. So looks like they were moving it because cloak. So the best way to move a super or a titan, if you are doing it, especially a faction one, which is going to draw a lot of attention, by the way, downtime. You light the Sino about 30 seconds before downtime. You jump the Titan or the Super to the Sino as the server's shutting down. So 10 seconds the server shuts down. So if you get dropped, it doesn't matter because the server shuts down, everything switches off, all the ships disappear. And then you wait and you do the same again. You do the same again every downtime. That's the best way to move them if you're going across Lossec. Unfortunately, this guy did not decide to do that. He decided to do whatever the hell he did and got his vendetta caught, unfortunately. But, you know, if you don't plan, if you don't fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. Basically, that's exactly what this is. Hell was lost, and that was the initiative over in Fountain. So it looks like he was dread bombed by some Imperium members and some fraternity. It was one of those MPSI fleets. So you got Deep Water Hooligans, you've got PL, you've got Goon Swarm, you've got Imperium members on there. So it looks like it was just one of those standard MPSI Black Ops fleets. Test Alliance, a bit of everyone's in here. Oh, hello, Initiative. He was AWOXed. Unlucky. So someone burned a spy for this Super as the Initiative member there. Sorry, excuse me. They burnt a spy to get this Super. Yeah, he's been kicked. And quite rightly so. So that was clearly a spy count that was put into a heavy interdictor to light a Sino. All you do is warp that in, boom, off there you go. So the question was, where? Because by the looks of it, there was no rogue drones on there. So it doesn't look like he was running a beacon. Unless he was jumping to the heavy interdictor, Sino, which he then pointed him and called these guys in. Oh, you know, well, you got to see this. It was so basically that was an AWOX. That hell. Dracaris lost a Nyx in Paragon Soul, and that was a hyperspatial Nyx shield tank, and again he was taken down by the locals in Stain. So Favouritism, they live in Stain, and they do a lot of black ops around. Let me see if I can just bring it up on another screen. Hang on. So Stain here. So Paragon Soul's here, Stain's here, and it's actually not that far to get to Paragon Soul from Stain. So that's quite an easy way to get killed by taking a Super out in Paragon Soul. But again, it wasn't even out ratting by the looks of it, because I can't see any NPCs on his Lossmail. So I don't know, but it could have been running ANOMs, which is kind of old school now. It's not that efficient with the fighter changes that happened God knows how long ago. It's not really optimal to use them for that anymore, especially when you've got no tracking modules and stuff in there. Maybe someone should probably send him that memo. But he lost his Nyx, and that was Dreads and I think I know what's happened. This guy looks like he was probably using it to kill a Dreadnought or a Titan in a site, and he got caught whilst in that site. Unlucky. And we got a Viator. So a Viator of Fraternity. Now this looks like, from what I've seen, was on a Stargate, but burning the perches, and looks like he was quite a long way off a Stargate actually, and he got caught by a flycatcher. Now this person was clearly just evacing a lot of stuff, a lot of loot that they'd accumulated over amount of time of spending doing some ratting around that area. So they got a lot of modules, a lot of faction modules, and some so a lot of 10 out of 10, not 10 out of 10, that's 8 out of 10. Is that 8 out of 10? 19th tier overseas, because is it 21st is the 10 out of 10s? What, I can't remember. 23rd is 10 out of 10, sorry. 23rd is 10 out of 10. So he's only done 2, but so 19th, would that possibly be 7 out of 10s? I don't know. Let me know if you guys know. I can't. It's been a long time since I've done a DED site and got the overseers effect. So I do apologise if I'm a little bit wrong with that one, as I don't do that much ratting, if I'm completely honest with you. So that was basically the top biggest kills on Zkill. There was some structures dying, so HiSec, Sedition killing some stuff in there. Horde having their stuff destroyed in Geminate by the looks of things. Geminate still being cleared up by Test Alliance and Old Clover Expanse, so rejected. Fun fact, the rejected, that's actually Zigham's corp. Zigham is a streamer. He was in Horde and he ran a lot of fleets for them. He is running, I believe he's now running the Rejected Alliance. So they basically stayed in drone lands. Fair play to them, you know. That's quite a nice little payout, 6.3 billion. But they should all be going abandoned now as well, so nice. No, Coon Swarm's getting killed. So we're going to move on from Zkill. I've been sent a couple of these battle reports to look at. So this was a fight over in 2v TAC Z, which involved a Metanox moon drill that was, excuse me, that was owned by Put the Fries in the Bag. And they came to defend it with Marauders and Lokis and stuff like that. And the Initiative and a couple of the guys and Boss decided, let's nuke them. So it looks like there are some fleets. There's some action going on in the drone lands now, which there is. I have spoken to the leader of Boss Alliance. Or sorry, hang on, let me no. I'm speaking to the leader of Boss Alliance for an interview. So that'll be coming in the next couple of weeks. I've also done the interview for Slow Children at Play. And that one will be coming very soon. And I've also interviewed Deepwater Hooligans, so that interview will be coming soon. So stay tuned for that one. Sorry, my throat. Oh, since I was ill not long ago, and ever since then my throat is just sore. And then this was another one here. So in Ethereum Reach, this was over a timer for, I believe it was some SOV that was being hit, if I remember correctly, where Red Alliance or Red Menace Coalition. So Red Menace Coalition had taken some space in Ethereum Reach. They were trying to take some space so they could move there, but the locals didn't like it, and they bunched up and fought back against them. And I wouldn't say completely whitewashed them, to be honest. They lost 46 billion, but Hard Knocks and Friends, they lost 36 billion. Brotherhood of Spacers and Deepwater Hooligans lost 10 billion. So these two sides lost the most. Which, yeah, okay, these guys did have quite a few more, quite a few more members there. But you know, that's sorry, my throat. Oh, gonna have to take a couple minute break after this section. But that was so a lot of these brawls are starting to happen in Dronelands now, and I do appreciate the guys sending me these battle reports, because it really does allow me to show what's going on over there in an actual visual sort of in a visual way, rather than just telling you that these fights are happening. I do want to touch on this. So I do try and cover Wormhole stuff, and unfortunately I do feel really, really bad about this, but I've had to go onto Reddit to find some information. Well, no, I was browsing Reddit because bored, and this popped up. This is funny. This is always the case of Goonswarm, but you know, are always depicted as the bad guys of they've got everything. It's funny. These memes are funny. But in the comments, a lot of people are basically saying that Wormholers have the highest earning space, so C5s and C6s, but because there's that many people in the space, it's not easy to get safe time to run the anomalies, because I mean, there's a lot goes into before farming a hole. So you have to roll statics, you have to roll all the wormholes in there, then you roll the statics as well, and then you can crab and make the money. And you can do an in excess of 1.5 to 2 billion an hour if you've got the sites there. But that's not that consistent, because you have to find sites, you have to wait for sites to respawn, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to leave these in the description for you to have a look at yourself. It's a lot of wormholers and nullsecers basically throwing dirt at each other. It's quite a funny read, so I'll read that for you down there. But when wormholers say that they're poor, they're not. No one ever said. No one. Like, wormholers say that they're poor when they're not. Nullsecers say that wormholes are rich. They are, but they are just essentially, wormholers haven't had any decent changes from the devs into their space for a while, apart from a few minor changes. And then the new mining site in Nullsec was a thing, even though there's probably about 10 in the whole game that are spawning at any one time. But look at the commodity faucets over time. So this is 7-day average. So this is how much loot is coming out of wormhole space, and it is miles above rogue drone analysis data from crab beacons, Triglavian data, overseas personal effects, and then you have wormhole loot. It's far more consistent than some of the, and way better earning. But a lot of the, as that post did say, a lot of C6s are camped by people waiting for someone to go in and start farming the hole, then they log off trap them, sort of thing. So there is a lot more risk involved when you are running a C6 or a C5 site, because a lot of them are seeded for content. Now, this is something I want to talk about. I briefly spoke to CCP Swift on the partner Discord about this. I'm not going to share all the images or anything like that of what was said, but you'll have to take my word for it on what we said and what we discussed. Basically, the long and short of it is, ever since Horde got evicted, not evicted, sorry, that's the wrong term, before anyone chirps up, wrong term. Before Horde collapsed in on itself, the asset safety for a Titan was about, it was supposed to be 15% of the minimal cost of a hull, right? 15%. So when Titans a good few years ago didn't need all these extra items in them, you could make a hull for 50 to 60 billion quite comfortably. And that's based on that is what the asset safety prices are based on. And supers were, back then, supers were about 12 bill, 11 bill to build easily. And so that's what the asset safety figures are based on, 15% of that. But since then, the prices of them have skyrocketed, since they need wormhole gas, they need ghost site loot, they need planetary interaction materials, a lot of, and they need a lot of minerals as well. So the prices of all those materials, because I basically screenshotted the build cost of a Titan, of a Ragnarok, which they say was the cheapest, was 132 billion just for the hull. But their prices that they're saying is 10 billion to get a Titan out of asset safety. That's just the hull, obviously not the fitter or anything like that. So I questioned it. A few people have questioned it, because essentially, if CCP are saying that a Super is 20 billion and a Titan is 60 billion, I would love to pay those prices for a hull. But basically, Swift said that because items, so he posted something that was from the post that they made. For items regularly traded on the market, asset safety bases calculations on average market prices. For items that are rarely traded or never traded on the market, asset safety uses an extremely conservative estimated value that will usually underestimate the true value of the item to benefit the player. What that basically means is, because Titans and Supers are not regularly traded on the open market. They're done through contracts or trades or something like that. The game can't calculate a solid price based on market data to give a solid price for asset safety. But if a third-party developer app, Eve Cookbook, can pull the price of the build price of a Titan, so should they be able to. In my opinion, they should be able to pull the same data and make that to asset safety. So where it's 10 billion, apparently that's 15% of a Titan, it should be much higher. But a lot of people are pointing out, and a lot of people have taken to Reddit and, you know, everywhere they can on the Eve Discord have said, how is this fair that asset safety prices are being lowered for Titans and Supers because hundreds of Supers and Titans conveniently a month ago went to asset safety. A lot of people are putting two and two together, mainly because CCP Swift is XPL. That's what some people are making the link. So as you can see here, people are really not happy and basically saying, so this guy here, 16-bit genocide, says it's pretty blatant, and the message being delivered by a former PL CEO gone CCP employee is just the icing on the shit cake. So a lot of this is people not happy, and a lot of people pointing out it's clearly favoritism that a big alliance failed. Hundreds and maybe even thousands of Supers and Titans are in asset safety, and people haven't got the money to get them out, and they fear that maybe CCP fear that they will leave, maybe that, you know, they are just doing what was already planned, but they never mentioned it to anyone. I don't know. So CCP Swift did come back after a bit of back and forth, because I wanted just to get the information from him. He did say, you are totally valid. I totally get that there isn't a graph that people keep up the asset safety values for Titans, and the 15% number feels quite glaring. Really? Glaring? A lot of people are not happy, though. Really, really not happy. And a lot of people are shouting that this is favoritism. Obviously, everyone has their entitlement to their own opinion. I think from what CCP Swift said about you know, the numbers and being pulled and this, that, and the other, and I think the timing is what makes it absolutely reek of it. I don't think it's anything else. I think it's the timing. If this was introduced, say, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, I think it would have just gone over everyone's head and no one really would have said anything. But the fact that it happened shortly after one of the biggest alliances in the game imploded, with thousands of Supers and Titans gone to asset safety, sets the bullshit alarm ringing, in my opinion. But I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence about it, because I've seen what he's said, and it looks like it was something that was in the works for a while. But at the same time, I think the timing is atrocious. And they have not done themselves any favours in releasing it at this time, which, you know, but he was right in pointing out that, because I basically called him out for favouritism, literally called him out for favouritism. So the asset safety fees aren't something that people generally get to see, but the adjusted numbers are about the same as post-World War B2. So basically, Goons and Imperium would have paid 9-10 billion to get their Supers and Titans out, or Titan out of asset safety, which I think it was more than that, but I don't know. Well, if anyone in Goons or Imperium or anyone like that had a Titan, say 5 years ago, and pulled it out of asset safety, let me know down in the comments what you paid to get that out of asset safety. But basically the reason they were adjusting it is because apparently the Levy and the Avatar were actually more expensive to pull out of asset safety than the Ragnarok and the Erebus. So that was the main focus on getting it done. But someone else on the partner Discord basically said, you know, I kind of agree with him. He said, I'm sure CCP saw how many Horde Super Titans went into asset safety and thought to themselves, holy shit, we have to do something about this, otherwise players will quit. That seems more likely, but again, that's just my opinion. I'm not, accusing, pointing, and I don't know, I kind of am, but at the same time, I kind of see that it was done in the past. It's been planned for a little while. I just think their timing could have been a lot better with it, because they really, really have opened themselves up to a lot of criticism with this. But CCP are going to get criticism anyway, so that's my rant about that anyway. So I'm going to I'll put this in the description so you can have a good read over it, read through the comments with a pinch of salt, because some people are really not happy, but I will leave that all down there for you. That one just made me laugh. They did a Plex sale where they all went to asset safety. They reduced the cost of asset safety. It's just funny in my opinion. But we will now move on to. I'm going to get a quick drink, and we are going to move on to the dotland changes and all the alliance movements and everything like that. Right, rant over. Let's move on to Dotland. So basically, over the last 7 days, we're going to look at alliance movements, who's moved around where the members have gone, sovereignty campaigns. My throat's coming back to haunt me. Oh, sorry, I was ill at the very end of last week, and it affected my throat and my breathing. So I'm just getting through it. And movements. So as you will notice, Pandemic Horde is down to 16,000 members from... Oh yeah, because it started a new 30-day cycle. Yeah, so they're down from 55,000, I think it was, down to 16,600. And there is also a picture that I was sent. Let's have a look if I can find it. Copy. It was basically a ping from internally for the Alliance, and it says Pandemic Horde Inc. is leaving the Alliance within 2 weeks from this ping. If you're in Pandemic Horde Inc., please join Cool Beans to stay in the Alliance. So they are purging Pandemic Horde Inc., so this corporation, they are purging that, which is 8,400 members. Obviously, these people are going to be moving over to Cool Beans. So some people have started moving already. It might take a while for... That might be a lot of not inactive members, because that's a silly amount of inactive members. But they may well stay there and just go and try and do their own thing. I'm not sure the exact who's in charge of Pandemic Horde Inc., but the Alliance could lose a further few thousand. They might even drop to below 10,000 members, which is crazy. That is a crazy thought, dropping from 55,000, second biggest alliance in the game, to below 10,000 members in a month. That's crazy. But so they're going to get a lot of members moving from Pandemic Horde Inc. here down into Cool Beans Inc. here to stay within Pandemic Horde. It's going to be weird to not have Pandemic Horde Inc. inside Pandemic Horde. It's going to be a weird situation, that is. But as you can see, in the last 30 days since that ping has gone out, 2,300 have left there and not really joined. Let's have a look at that. Oh, there you go. So yeah, so 600 people have moved over already. I imagine as people start moving characters across, it'll take a while. It's not going to happen immediately. It's not going to be instant. So that'll take a while for all the members to move across over there. Goonswarm up to 65,000 members, gained 573 in the last 7 days. Fraternity have gained 232 members. Rejected, which is Zigham's Alliance, has gained 189. So that may well be people that used to live in Dronelands. Are coming back because they like the space and they like starting out a new alliance kind of thing. Hopefully that all goes well for them. Brotherhood of Spaces, they've lost some people. Interesting. Interesting. They might not have wanted to move across there or gone with someone else. They might have. I mean, Brotherhood of Space, we are going to come around to this actually. So, Brotherhood of Spaces and what was it? Slow Children at Play, they have gained space in Ethereum Reach and what's the other one? Sorry. Ethereum Reach and Peregrine Falls, is it? Yeah. Let me just change that to Sovereignty, sorry. Yeah, so Peregrine Falls and Ethereum Reach is where these guys are sat now. And they used to be down in Omist, which is down here. And since they have left, that is now basically slowly turning over. Goons are basically Imperium are taking the space because look, there's no one owns it now. They've basically just the Sovs dropped automatically, and it's just been taken over by Imperium slowly but surely. These guys came in to try and power Legion with then 263 members. They came to try and take a system. No. That's not a good move for an alliance, really, to move behind us. It's not a good move. Unfortunately, probably just end up getting absorbed into the coalition, which is not good for them. It's not good for anyone, really. Well, it might be good for them. I don't know. But Omist is basically going to be another Imperium region. I'm hoping with that we give up period basis, but I highly doubt it because Dracarys want to fight Synergy of Steel, and they want to be going back and forth quite a lot there. And so as we go on to sovereignty campaigns, which is basically systems that are reinforced or actively reinforced or under, that tug of war Sov system that happens. So no doubt, no shocker that it is dominated by drone regions. And so you've got all these small, I was going to say small alliance because of them, but all these alliances here. So they're having, why are they having their space reinforced? They've got 33 members. I don't know if they're a holding group for someone or they just wanted to go out there and get their name on the Sov because it's forever on there as a previous Sov holder then. It just gets your name out there. A lot of people do that. Northern Coalition, Pandemic Horde, again, all their space is getting removed. And these Slow Children at Play, I wonder who's reinforced that one. I wonder where that one is. HPV, where's that? HPV, let's have a look on the map. That's random. So, Slow Children at Play have taken this region because they. I spoke to their alliance leader yesterday, and basically they now have a whole region, which gives them better. It's basically better for advertising for recruitment. And so we've got all this space. We've got how many systems? They got 6. Nice. You could not have even staged that if you tried. They got 69 systems, and it's like I'm just a big kid at heart, really. They got 69 systems, so you can even put that on a recruitment advert. We've got 69 solar systems that you can. And we need more people because they only get 2,000 members, but the recruitment of drivers slowly been going. Doing wonders, and from what the alliance leader says, they've got big plans for the area. Not overly arching plans for other groups, but what they want to do with their space, and I really like what they're going to do. So that interview is going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks, so keep an eye out for that one. And so that was the movements. We've covered the movements, so won't really need to go into those again. And Horde I think Horde are going to be sub 10,000 in a couple of weeks. So Cloud Ring, there was a big brawl over here, but it turns out it wasn't really a big brawl. It was Deepwater Hooligans fighting the Initiative. Deepwater Hooligans got dumpstered, but the Initiative did bring quite a few people, but still, Initiative still lost the S-World because Rattlesnake and Material, I'm guessing, and yeah, but. We are going to now take a quick look at the daily Sov map, which you can get access to these. If you type into your search browser, whichever one you use, EVE Online Daily Sov Maps, it'll bring this up. So this is an alliance overview of the entire game. So you've got Initiative, which is there. As you can see, is there. That's them. You've got Winter Coalition, which are here, all this top bit here. I'll actually know what, I'm not going to go through coalitions because I'll show you the coalition one afterwards. There's a separate coalition one. So you've got Goon Swarm, but look at this. Look at all these alliances here. That is a lot of alliances taking Sov. It looks like it could end up being like a little Thunderdome over there, which is cool to see. Really cool to see. But then you got Red Alliance here, so they've tried taking a patch of space here. I think they are having to fight for it quite heavily. But it means they're going to end up bordering us, which I don't even know how to take that. It could be, I mean, after a while, I don't think we're going to be taking any sizable fleet up there anyway. You might get the odd 1 or 2 goon that wants to roam the space for whatever and probably get killed in the process. But so I believe these guys, or Red Alliance in particular, wanted to take some space over here. We're going to keep an eye on that just to see how they get on with that, with taking that space. You've got Only Fleets and the Synergy of Steel, so these guys have been at it down the bottom here. They've been fighting back and forth quite heavily. Not overly heavy, but that connection just there where the mouse is quite heavily used, we shall say. And we will now move on to the coalition view. This is where it gets a little depressing. So, Imperium, Winter Coalition. And you've got all the neutral states over here, which, yeah, so, I mean, you've got these neutral states here as well. So you've got Only Fleets and Legion of Exdeath. Only Fleets and Weapons of Mass Production. You have Phoenix Coalition here. We've got Init Horde, which I don't know how long that agreement's going to last now. Then you've got Winterco with all their space up here. Now, I'm not saying that Imperium don't have a lot of space, because we do. But it looks even worse on this map, because all this open space here is also coloured in. I mean, even if this little cluster here was sandwiched in here, it would still be a lot of space that we have, obviously. But the mass colour around there, it does just psychologically make it look a lot bigger. I know it is big, it is a lot of space, it is a huge area, it is an ungodly area. But it even says Curse, and Great Wildlands is Imperium. So I know it's the colours on the map make it look like insane. Like it looks like Init have got a absolute metric ton of area as well. But realistically, it's just that inside here. Like the lighter colours out there is just, I don't know why that's even on there, if I'm honest. But the darker, thicker colour is basically where it is. So I don't know, you can have a look at this map yourself. So remember, just type into your search browser, it is EVE Online Daily Solve Maps. But that is cool to see. That is cool to see all these neutral guys here going at it, taking space, growing, recruiting. It's great to see. It's great to see that agreement that Winterco and Imperium made is actually working pretty well. Obviously, I'm not trying to say in any way, shape or form that this wouldn't have happened without the agreement, but the fact that these guys are protected from, say, a huge group coming in and just wiping them all, that's not us, because we're not going to do that. We're going to sort of turn that into I don't want to use the term nature reserve, because that's wrong, but if an overly big group comes in and just starts dominating the whole thing, Winterco and Imperium will kick them out and then leave these guys to carry on growing. That's the idea of how that works. But guys, my throat is absolutely destroying me, so I'm going to call it there. We've had a lot to discuss. There was a little bit of a rant in there as well about the asset safety, but again, on that, it's just the timing that makes it look worse than it actually is. But I hope you've enjoyed this one, guys. If you are new, remember to subscribe to the channel. If you've got this far in the video, comment down below anything you want that's within reason and not against YouTube terms of service. And that will put you into the giveaway. Comment and leave your in-game name. If you want to leave your in-game name there, that would be brilliant. It just means it's much easier for me to send it to you straight away, because there has been a couple times on some videos where someone's commented, they didn't put their in-game name, I message them about it on replied to them on YouTube, and they haven't got back to me, so they haven't got the skin. If that's you, go back and check to see if I have. then get in touch with me. But guys, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video, which will be later on in this week, and it'll be an Alliance Leader interview. Take care.